One was Dog Nation with Brandon Adams. And the other one was Joel Klatt's podcast. So different takes. Very different takes to hear what they said.
But the one thing I'm not going to do today, and I'm not going to do this as much as some Georgia fans are, I'm not going to come in here and myth make and tell tales and brag on, oh my gosh, this comeback. This comeback shows you what the real Georgia is, and this comeback shows you this team is locked in now. Took them a half against Alabama, but now they're locked in, and they're about to go on a run, and they're going to get a rematch with Alabama, and they're going to beat them in that rematch. That very well might happen, but I'm certainly not going to tell you that it is because I've got more respect for you than that to insult your intelligence. What I am going to say simply is we don't know.
So, of course, Brandon, even before I heard BA, I was thinking the way he was, that Georgia showed you that they maybe are not that team. For whatever reason, they start slowly. They make a lot of mistakes. And his take was, Smooch, that the first half is indicative of what Georgia, the problems they have. The second half, the game dictated that they had to take a lot of risk, and it was a totally different ball game. And Beck made some throws and made it entertaining. And it was still, well, Georgia called a good game. But that's not the team you should feel excited about it, but that's not what you should expect. You shouldn't say, okay, well, this is what we're going to see. They figured things out, and we're going to take this going forward. That was what BA was saying. Mm-hmm. Joel Klatt was saying almost the opposite. He was saying, no, this is the real Georgia.
I feel better about Georgia than I do about Alabama coming away from that game. I get it. Alabama won, which is why I've rewarded them with that top spot in my rankings. But I also believe that in this sport, and candidly in life, but in this sport in particular, the cream generally rises to the top. So if you asked me about any sort of game, I will tell you that the more snaps that are played, the more times that you play, the more opportunities that you get, generally speaking, the odds are going to favor the better team. So as time goes on, what you will see is one team start to become a better team or reveal that they are the better team than the other. I believe that's what was starting to happen in the second half.
This, when he said the cream rises to the top, the more plays you get, the more snaps, the bigger sample size, you see what the reality is. And you started to see that with Georgia.
Yeah, So I'm probably somewhere in the middle of those two guys. I think that the Klatt one is very interesting because he's not emotionally involved with this team. You know, we're not even going to pretend we're not emotionally involved with how the Dogs do. But vulnerable would be the word that I felt for the first time as a Georgia fan.